Listen to this story. Greedy and generosity. Long ago in a small village near the great baobab forest, there lived two brothers, Kofi and Kojo. Their parents had died when they were young, and they grew up farming a small piece of land. Kofi, the elder brother, was known for his kindness. He shared everything he had. Kojo, the younger one, was different. He was greedy and only cared about himself. Every morning, the two brothers went to the farm together. Kofi would work hard, sweating in the sun and planting seeds. Kojo often found excuses to rest under a tree, pretending to be tired. At the end of the day, Kofi would divide the harvest equally, even though he had done most of the work. "We are brothers," he would say with a smile. But Kojo never thanked him. One day, while digging in the field, Kofi's hoe struck something hard. It was an old clay pot filled with gold coins. The brother stared at it, eyes wide with shock. "We must take this to the village chief," Kofi said. "It might belong to someone." But Kojo shook his head. "No, brother. This is our luck. We will hide it and use it for ourselves." Kofi tried to argue, but Kojo snatched the pot and ran home. That night, Kojo hid the gold under his bed and locked the door. Kofi slept outside on a mat. The next morning, Kojo bought new clothes, a fat goat, and rice. He walked through the village proudly, acting like a rich man. But he gave nothing to the poor or even his own brother. Weeks passed, and Kojo became greedy for more. He sold their farmland and used the money for parties and drinks. Kofi was left with nothing. But still, he helped the old and the sick in the village, sharing what little he had. People began to respect him even more, while Kojo was feared but not loved. One evening, a wise old traveler came to the village. He had heard of the greedy young man who had found gold and of his kind brother. The traveler visited Kojo and said, "I have a gift for the one who is truly rich in heart." Kojo smiled widely and stretched out his hand. But the traveler shook his head. "You are full of greed. You cannot receive the gift." Then the traveler went to Kofi. He handed him a small gourd and said, "Pour this into a hole in your farm." Kofi obeyed, even though he did not understand. The next day, a miracle happened. A spring of clean water rose from the hole, turning the dry land into a green paradise. Crops grew faster and bigger than ever before. People came from other villages to buy food from Kofi's land. He became rich, but he remained generous. He built a school, dug wells for clean water, and helped the poor. Kojo, now broke and sick, came to his brother with tears in his eyes. "Forgive me, Kofi. I was foolish." Kofi smiled and welcomed him. Kofi gave his brother food and a small piece of land. "Greed destroys, but generosity builds," he said. Kojo worked hard from that day, learning from his brother's example. Slowly, he earned back the respect of the people. Though he never became rich again, he lived a life of peace and kindness. Years later, when Kofi died, the whole village gathered to honor him. They told stories of his kindness and how his generous heart had saved them all. Kojo stood among them, holding his brother's hoe, tears in his eyes. And from that day, he too taught others that a generous heart is worth more than gold.